Welcome to the Mrs. R Relevant Daily Draft Podcast. I am joined on this fine weekend afternoon with Brian.
Yep.
Brian, how's your summer going?
It's going all right. Kids are just finished. Well, here they call it summer boost, but basically summer school. So, and then we're going on a trip to like Idaho and Utah Thursday. So we'll be gone for like a week.
Nice. So Brian and I are here to join you to go over some summer scouting. And Brian has some top 20 lists that he is going to share. Brian, I think your first top 20 was wide receiver, correct?
Yeah, we start there. Okay. Want me to just go start?
Yep.
Okay, sir. You should give me some sort of prompt, so I was waiting for that for a second.
Okay, wide receiver one. Drum roll, please.
Okay. So right now it's obviously super early, so I'm still trying to it's for summer scouting. I think it's different for everybody. So you're trying to find a balance between like the film and then projecting the guys. So it's obviously so early. So this is definitely going to change by the time we get back to the actual draft. But at least early on right now, my number one receiver is Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. He has some, what do you call it? I would say some Deebo Samuel-esque skills to him. I like. He's more of a pure receiver than Deebo is, but you see some of that in his play, his ability to break tackles and get yards after contact and stuff like that. And then my number two receiver right now is Denzel Boston from Washington. Big, tall, kind of similar to the previous receiver a couple years ago. And then, Nunzek, might have been blanking for a second there. Nunzek, kind of somewhat similar. I mean, a little bit different, not as big, but similar skill set, I guess. Number three would be Antonio Williams from Clemson. He's kind of like your fast slot guy. This is actually a pretty good slot class. Number four would be Kevin Conception. He transferred to Texas A&M from North Carolina State. Kind of similar, another small, fast guy. Not really that small, but still kind of a fast, quick guy. Next one would be Carnell Tate, Ohio State. He's just kind of one of those your traditional Ohio State receivers. Good size, good skills, not super athletic, not freaky athletic, but just kind of can do a little bit of everything. Can play in the slot, can play outside. He's probably not a true number one receiver at the next level, but he can be a pretty good number two. Next, I have Malik Rutherford from Georgia Tech. Another kind of small slot guy, 5'9", quick little, kind of hiccup guy. You can use him in some gadget type stuff as well. I believe he can return. Next, I got Jaden Greathouse from Notre Dame. Sorry. He's kind of another slot guy. He can play outside, but he's played a lot of slot in Notre Dame. I think they're gonna. I haven't heard yet, but I think they're gonna play more outside this year. But the big guy, actually the big slot guy, actually can power slot because he's like 215, 6'1". You can get yards after the catch. You can get deep and stuff like that. It's again with him. It's a little bit of a projection since he only flashed those last 3-4 games last year. So, but I think he can still move up there. Next, I have another actually Georgia Tech receiver, Eric Rivers. I think he's somewhat similar to Rutherford. They're both kind of slot guys. Rivers is a little bit bigger, but I think he's going to be more of a slot guy in the NFL. But still needs to add some weight, though. They're both about 175 pounds, so that's a negative opposite there. But and then Bryce Lance after that, North Dakota State. I know some guys love him, like Anthony loves him, but he's a lot of talent and potential right now. Not a lot of polish. His route running needs a lot of work. His route releases need a lot of work. He's just a guy that, if he comes out, because he's a redshirt junior, if he comes out, it's gonna be a couple years at least for him. But the potential's up there. I mean, he's shown some flashes. Like I posted clips of it. He's actually has a pretty good whip route, which is surprising for a guy that's as big as him. He can move pretty well for a guy that's big. But like I said, he's right now he's still kind of he's more of a projection still. And then after that, I got CJ Daniels, who transferred to Miami from LSU. kind of more of this is kind of more of again, another projection with him. If he can get healthy and stay healthy, I think he can really move up. He just needs to be able to do that. He's got the skills. He can get, he can really stack defensive backs. He has really great deep speed. It's just, again, staying healthy and producing. This last year, he's really struggled at LSU. But the potential's there, at least, like I said, if he can get healthy. After that, I got Elijah Surratt from Indiana. Kind of similar, different player, obviously, but similar in the sense to Carnell Tate, kind of like your number 2 type receiver. Kind of good at everything, not great at anything, not great speed, but he's got good size. He's physical, good route runner, all that type of stuff. Number 2 type receiver, the next level. Another guy I really like, actually, who went back who's going back again, Kylan Lacey from Louisville. Sorry, he was really good for in the lost movement. I think right there. He was really good a couple years ago when he was at I think it was Georgia State, and then he kind of just had some injuries this past year, so he redshirted. But he's again another one of those quick hiccup type slot receivers. Way everything got messed up here. Sorry, trying to fix it real quick. So a quick hiccup slot receivers, 5'10", 100 pounds. He's got really good speed. He can return. He's got return experience. And then, like I said, he's a slot receiver. He can play some outside, but I think he's mostly going to be a slot receiver. And then after the end right now, I got Dane Key from Nebraska. Big physical receiver, good solid route runner. I know, he doesn't have as much hype on him, but I think he's a better player than people think he is. And then I think the transfer to Nebraska is going to help him putting up big numbers, I guess, at least. And then let's see, after him, where am I at? Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so then after him at 14, I have Eric McAllister from TCU. A guy that I really liked. He really flashed a lot at Boise in 2023, sorry. And then he played at TCU this past year, but since they have so many receivers, he didn't get to put up huge numbers. But if you watch him play, he's a really good, solid receiver, 6'3", 200 pounds. Pretty good speed, not elite speed. Like I said, physical at the catch point. Outside receiver. I think he's going to put up some big numbers this year with all those receivers. They graduated yesterday, I think 3 receivers. Another guy the next guy I like Andrew Anthony from Duke. He transferred over there from Oklahoma. Somewhat similar situation to CJ Daniels. If he can get healthy and stay healthy and get back to how he was playing before he got injured at Oklahoma, he looked really good in 2023, and then this past year he basically didn't play because of injuries. I think it was an ankle. But 23 he looked really good. He looked like he was really developing. So hopefully he can get healthy. Another guy that's got really good speed. He's a deep threat. Needs to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger to deal with press and stuff like that, but he's got some talent. Next would be Mekhi Lemon from USC, a guy who could he could really move up. I think if he has a big year, he could really jump into my top 10. He needs to develop. There's still some work needs to do, but physically, at least, the talent is there for him to be like a top 10 receiver in this class. Next would be Eugene Wilson, Florida. Similar situation. He did flash in 2023, but dealt with some injuries this past year. If he can get healthy, he's a deep threat guy. He can play some slot. He can play some outside. He's got a lot of upside. And then after that, I got Eric Singleton from Auburn. Again, another slot guy in this class. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Pretty good guy overall. Not an elite athlete, but a solid all-around guy. Kind of like an Xavier Restrepo type of guy. Not as big, obviously, but similar skill set. Another underrated guy I actually kind of have there right at 19. Mekhi Jackson in Indiana. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Decent speed. He transferred over there from App State. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of numbers he can put up this year with Mendoza. I think he's got some talent, not elite guy, but of course could be a number 2/number 3 receiver. And then my last guy, who I think he's going to be just a junior, but if he has a big year, he can really move up again, is Ian Strong from Rutgers. He really flashed in a number of games this past year. I think if he had played somewhere else with better quarterback play and somewhere where he wasn't, second fiddle to Kyle Monangai, or really third fiddle actually, because they had another running back. I think he could put up some big numbers. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, probably 4.55 speed, not elite speed, but he's quick. He can get yards after the catch. He can what do you call it? He's good in contested catch situations. He can stack with defensive backs. He's a good blocker. I think he can really move up and he can have a big year this year.
Nice. So what I liked is there were new names there, right? You're at least the fourth draft professor to do wide receivers. I think I counted 4 or 5. There were minimum 4 new names, but I believe it was 5. Okay. So that's why we do this.
Yeah.
Right. Before we start having everybody podcast and say, what they're agreeing on or whatever, I think at this time of year we see some variance. And I absolutely love it. So you said that you think it's a reasonably good Z wide receiver class?
Yeah, there's a number of guys that I like, even past my top 20. There's a lot of guys who either they play slot right now or I project them to playing in the slot in the NFL. These are more guys I think like Squirrel White. He's a slot guy. Lewis Bond, kind of way down there. Logan Loya. There's a number of slot guys in this class.